Migoto.
Neither the transcendent Mercury spectating the final act as it unfolded.
Subarashi.
Nor the Golden Harbinger, standing atop a magic circle stretching across the canvas of the far heavens, could refrain from expressing their joy. The souls of the Crimson Rubido and the Maddened Albedo, defeated in the very same moment, joined with the Iron Nigrido to return until Reinhard's breast. Coiling back into his ever-swelling legion, peerless in prowess across all the cosmos. Upon the vast seas of our newborn world. Seeing his sworn friend off with a meager glance, Reinhard once again shifted his gaze downwards. The boy's hegemony could halt the flow of time itself. As such, even if it eradicated the olden law, the touch of the unknown would elude his halted senses still. His heart danced with excitement. Everything was panning out just as he had desired. A certain man once told him that he was not releasing his full potential. Those words were indistinguishable from the delusion of a young man intoxicated with the feeling of omnipotence, but he was exactly that, a being that didn't belong in this world. Nothing he beheld would move him. His heart was a stranger to true liberty, the thrill of victory. Never had he felt satisfaction as men did when a great obstacle crumbled beneath their feet. He would make that logic of his universal, and so the world would behold the true power of the monarch of destruction. He would ravage, absorb, and paint the cosmos anew in his color. The world fit for him would be born in its wake, bursting forth in a torrent as it emanated, washing away the olden law that once was. The present moment, the war between conflicting hegemonies, was the perfect time for him to display his true power. For becoming what they were, his opponents were truly worthy of his love. He had always wished to say the words that he found an opponent worthy to clash with. Piling their prayers, thousands of deceased gathered to create a path from the magic circle to the tower, right to where their lord's venerable rival stood and stared upwards with palpable vehemence. And thus began their finale, grander than any struggle fought before, an exquisite clash to end it all. He had long since yearned for this moment, enduring the ever-present torment of that wretched ghetto. This would be our final battle. Reinhard may have stood alone, but the legion under his command easily numbered in the millions. Glad time. If they really wanted to fight so much, they could just drop dead and go to hell. A moment later, I found myself dashing up the grim steps at inhuman speed. Reinhard waited for his opponent's arrival. His heart raced with excitement and burdening impatience. Both of them were at the peak of their powers. There was nary a need to hold back. He urged the promised Halage Arch to revolve and emanate his legion. Day of wrath and doom impending, David's word with Sybil's blending, heaven and earth in ashes ending. Reinhard hoped to witness a display of livable resistance from the Sonnenkind. However, he knew it to be too late, for his gold would wash over the canvas of the universe. Not yet. This was merely the beginning. Marie was a jewel whose fragments were beginning to spread. I would never allow him to taint her world with his color. After all, I knew that. Vast is the sea, its waves reaching horizons far and wide. Eternal is the radiance of its azure womb.
たとえどれほどの戦慄が待ち受けようとも審判者が光り厳しく救され一つ余さず燃え去り消え
Oh, what fear man's bosom rendeth, when from heaven the judge descendeth, on whose sentence all dependeth. Until he chanced upon something he had yet to ravage. Heaven and hell, God and Satan, all things in creation from the first universe that was to the last that will ever be. And so let us ride this moment and dash forth, swift as light, quick as a star eternal. I would dash, no matter how far, for I felt the presence of those who ran alongside me. Of course I would, so I hoped she would do her best as well. She could count on me. I would, and I knew she'd be there waiting for me. And I could really use their help. It'd be great if this dumbass got his shit together. But even if he didn't, all our hearts were one. Hear my pleas and grant this one wish. The world longs for an era of peace, days that know not strife. The crimson flames of war would rise to grant Reinhard the peace he had longed for, eradicating all till nothing was left. Wondrous sound the trumpet flingeth, through earth's sepulchres it ringeth, all before the throne it bringeth. This Veltal of soldiers would rise and well forth to fill the realm till its very veins burst open. From the dust of earth returning, man for judgment must prepare him. Spare, O God, in mercy spare him. Had I not met Marie, I would have remained a child, blissfully ignorant, unable to feel as strongly about someone as I did now. Therefore, in a world where only peace is Lord and men join hands in liberty, allow me to sing but this. Of course, I loved her from the bottom of my heart. Halt, O time, for thou art fair beyond measure. Together we would finally bring Reinhard down. I wish upon your unending star, guide me to heights unknown. Lord, all pitying Jesus blessed, grant them thine eternal rest. Amen.
では一つ皆様私の歌劇をご観覧あれ。アティルト
Emanation.
その筋書きはありきたりだがどうぞ
Pour forth from the chaos.
役者が良い思考と信ずるレースノイ
A tale of transcendence.
ゆえに面白くなると思うよディエスリレアルトシプラーハッツアークストラ
My arrival to where Reinhard stood marked the start of our battle.
今我らこそがこの世界の中心にある。歌おう、共に素晴らしき歌劇を。
The spear of destiny and the blade of decapitation clashed, each of our respective strikes imbued with all our strength. It would have been hardly a surprise to see the fight ended from the very first attack. However, the result was different. Even in the face of Reinhard, I stood my ground and managed to engage him in a fight. I could neither grasp the extent of my growth nor feel joyous about finally reaching his level. My heart raced swift in my chest, but only from the pride of having been entrusted with the hopes and dreams of my friends. I wasn't gonna let this scumbag get the wrong idea.
いい目だ。見違えたぞ。
I couldn't stomach the gleaming darkness living within his hellish golden eyes.
そんなに
Did he really enjoy war? Did he truly find joy in murder? Did he seriously plan to expand further even after consuming millions?
他人の魂がうまいのか
They all had their lives and dreams, people they loved, friends they treasured, and families they held dear. They might have been meaningless to outsiders, but everyone had their own stories to tell. Did this beast really take pleasure in devouring them?
それを奪うことがお前の世界か
無論だ。我をもって善となす。私が世界となるのだから、細胞の一つ一つを慈しむのは道理だろう。ああ、甘いぞ。美味だ。まだ食い足りん。愛も勇気も絶望も怒りも悲しみも何もかも。鬼畜と呼ばれる罪人も生まれたばかりの血のみ子も我が身を這い回る小さき者どもは例外なく祝福しよう。その物語こそ至高の供物だ。私のベルトールにあるものはそれを代価に支払ってもらう。皆おのおの良い物語を見せたであろう。私を恐れる者も敬う者も何かを取り戻そうとする者も。
I didn't know the lives or deaths of every member of the Obsidian Table, but I knew enough to tell they tried their best, like any average human would. The one before me, though, was different.
お前は悪魔だ
Mephistopheles, the harbinger of beguiling light. He granted false dreams, power, and glory in exchange for the recipient's soul. He was the lord of the dead, reigning over a castle filled with an army of the enslaved unliving. Reinhard had no place in this world.
悪魔か。確かにカールもそう言っていたな。
Then there was Mercurius. No matter what happened,
絶対に俺が倒す
I kicked the floating magic circle and sent myself into the air. Though it didn't have any physical mass, it gave the same opposing reaction as solid land would. Even now, it continued to grow with every single passing moment. I needed more time. I obviously had to stop to save Himuro, but letting it spread outside the city would also mean the end of all. In other words, I had to defeat Reinhard as fast as I could.
行くぞ
My power howled for release, my soul's density growing to unknown heights. I could easily tell that the blade in my right arm had become sharper than ever before. Its steel would put an end to Reinhard and this ridiculous pandemonium.
なるほど。早いな。
We were both at the emanation stage. Our battle was the clash of two differing principles born of two conflicting worlds. Although I was unable to halt his time, I would never let him surpass me in terms of speed.
K はこの新世界に何を願う？
A realm where they would not exist.
己が波動で何を生む？
Gentle and peaceful days, of course.
私を人から取り除くことなど誰にもできんぞ。
Clashing and clanging blades, conflicting worlds. The condensation of strife and conflict spoke of the malignant nature of humanity.
異なる他者への排撃は魂の根幹に刻まれた人の罪だ。決して拭えん。K もまた私を認められんのだろう。
He was right. Even before I was taken from my day-to-day life, only to be plunged into the extraordinary, the world was still rife with plenty of wars across its globe. Even excluding brutal killings, many argued with and harbored hatred towards those they couldn't relate to. The world had always been overflowing with rejection. However,
ならば私の内で渦巻くことと何の違いがあるという。
that wasn't the point I've been trying to make.
殺し合わずに折れないならば等しく我が城で永劫の闘争を続ければよい。人の子は何も変わらん。善や道徳という欺瞞が剥がされ真実の己に立ち返ること、それを祝福と思う者も存在する。いや認めずとも皆が同じなのではないか。力を得られて興奮したろう。
Indeed, I couldn't deny the moments I wished to become stronger.
他者より抜きんでる事実に優越を覚えたことは。
I honed my blade to win. That was another undeniable truth.
誰もが思ったはずだ。こうでなくてはならない。
That, however, I rejected with all my being.
胸躍り燃え上がる血の熱さ。非現実の戦争こそが苦しく求められる人の娯楽だ。歪小な善とやら取るに足らぬ道徳とやら社会の規範たる常識とやらが彼らのゲットに他ならぬ。そこから解き放たれる瞬間こそ皆が心から祈っている。ゆえ与えてやるのだこの私が。鉄火に満ちた戦場の風を慰めの妄想に過ぎなかった非現実を私が愛しい者らへ送ってやろう。これを待っていた。これを見たかった。声よ、彼らの待ち望んでいたものがついに来たのだ。もろ手を挙げて今来賛するがいい。私は全てを愛している。故に全てを破壊する。涙を流してこのディエスイレを称えるがいい。
As our weapons clashed at ridiculous speeds, Reinhard gleefully spoke that what he thought was the truth. He claimed it to be true bliss, what humanity actually craved. Hubris fit for a god, destructive conceit thick with the desire to consume all creation. However, he completely misunderstood me.
俺が言ってるのはそんなことじゃないんだ。
I had no intention of arguing against some pretentious philosophy about the truth of humanity.
ただそこにあったんだ。
A moment I considered pleasant right there before my eyes.
優しい空気が存在して。
People I held dear at my side.
だったらそれを
To think of protecting that light.
欺瞞だなんて言わせない。
I launched another swing, howling my words at him. The act caused the holy lance to go to the side, making Reinhard back away ever so slightly.
非現実の紅葉だと。
I couldn't outright deny that. People's latent wish for conflict was indeed a real thing. However, I could never approve of a world where only that and nothing else existed. How could one feel the warmth of the sun below skies tainted the color of blood?
俺の好きなものをお前に壊されるお前はない。
ならば
Indeed, two worlds were consuming one another.
私を破壊してみるがいい。
He didn't have to tell me that. Even if strife was at the core of the world, I believed it still held something sacred. Upon landing, I swiftly charged at Reinhard's flank. Considering that his stance had been ruined by the previous attack, it was unlikely he'd survive this one. But at that moment,
第9放炎した
part of the dead under his command transformed into tanks, easily 100 in number. Each of them fixed their main cannons on me, firing in chillingly perfect unison. I fell over and rolled, barely avoiding the curtain-like barrage. What the hell was...
第36ディルレワンガー。
before I even got a chance to be shocked, countless bayonets jutted out from below me. My body jumped backwards instinctively, distancing me from the sea of blades. The skeletal army at my feet audibly clenched their fangs as they glared at me with murderous eyes. This was Reinhard's emanation.
そう私はレギオンだ
Using the brief moment I averted my gaze from him, Reinhard leapt forward.
何を驚いているまだ序の口だろ
He snapped his fingers.
第12ヒトラー有限と
A barrage of concentrated Panzerfaust fire rained down on me, leaving little to no opportunity for evasion. Instead, I readied myself to take it head on. Slashes, deflection, defense, or redirection. I used all options at my disposal to weather the ceaseless onslaught. 30, 40, 50, 60, the barrage endured with seemingly no end in sight. My leap only placed me about 4 or 5 meters above ground, but it was enough for his legion to deliver an attack of that caliber. Reinhardt's nonsensically vast military force seemed inexhaustible. Waffen-SS, the undead army that once fought against the whole world, had found a home in Reinhardt's legion. Their morale, proficiency, and most important of all, zealous thirst for victory gave me the kind of chills that seemed to freeze my spine to the core. Even so, there was no reason for me to falter. I finally endured what I had counted to be 100 and several tens of shots. As, when challenging Reinhard himself, I wouldn't allow myself to be taken out by an army of slaves. I had to focus on the source alone, the beast. No army would function without its commander. Sunlight.
まだ戦場には不慣れかね
After piercing the explosion fumes left by the rain of panzer shells, the holy lance of gold headed straight towards me.
1対1に慣れすぎたかそれでは生き残れんこれは御前の決闘ではないぞ
He was right. I had little experience in diversified, wave-based battlefield tactics.
さあどうする失望させるな
The holy lance was too close for me to guard against it with my right hand. Therefore, I had to strain myself to dodge it.
マリー
The desperate shout calling her name was not my final breath. I had more fight in me yet. Spurred by the danger of death, I gathered my willpower and strengthened the law I was emanating. As a result, the tip of his lance entered a momentary standstill. Now was my chance. By forcing my body to bend in midair, I somehow prevented the holy lance from reaching my neck. It was quite a risky evasion, but I didn't have time to be mindful of something like that. Upon landing, I leapt to the side and slashed at Reinhard, who was still up in the air. He defended against my attack by turning around, letting my blade clash with the lance's handle. The power of the impact filled the air with a booming echo, distancing us from one another. I landed on the magic circle and momentarily slid on it before falling to my knees. My breathing began to grow ragged. That amount of offense and defense was enough to roughen my respiration. Reinhardt's pressure and the severity of his attacks obviously made it hard for me, but the conflict of our emanations was a far greater burden on my mind and body. Prolonging the battle was a bad idea. I needed to seal his movements. Like before, I had to exert myself to strengthen my law and use the opening to charge at him. Even if a perfect standstill was impossible, I just proved that it was effective. Reinhard, who also landed on his feet, regarded me with an intrigued gaze while his undead troops, numbered in the millions, gathered around him. I couldn't let him command his army any further. The Waffen-SS was made up of almost 40 divisions, yet the combined efforts of only 3 had given me this much trouble. Any repeats of that would put me in serious danger.
確かに厄介だなその波動よかろうでは少し趣向を変えるか
His odd phrasing made me raise an eyebrow.
すでに理解したと思うが私は私のレギオンを操れる
Reinhard directed the holy lance at me and fixed his posture as if preparing to pierce me with it. I had seen the destructive power of this attack with my own eyes, and knew of the sheer threat it posed. However, he was too far away for it to work. The distance between us was a dozen or so meters, which easily put me in the safe zone. He must have been aware of that too, so what was he planning?
銃兵には銃を、砲兵には砲を。各々得意とする武器をあてがい編成するのが指揮官の妙理だ。ありていに言えば人を操る手だれ。それに長けていなければ将にはなれん。
Reinhard Heydrich had the rank of general. It was safe to call him the top of the military hierarchy. What about it, though? What was he getting at?
ゆえにだ。こうは考えられんかね。その魂、その渇望、我がベルトールに溶ける糸小さき愛児たち。彼らは私で、私は彼らだ。今や同化しているのだよ。
The holy lance began to tremble as it emitted an eerie sound, filling the air with wicked energies and the stench of blood. I knew what the sensation was. An ominous chill rushed up my spine. I had a bad feeling about this. Was he about to...
日の光はいらん。ならば夜こそ我が世界。夜に無敵となる魔人になりたい。この畜生に染まる血を絞り出し、我を神聖させる短美と暴虐と殺戮の化身、闇の不死鳥。彼をちの恋人、ローゼンカバリエ・シュバルツバルド。
Suddenly, my body was engulfed by a piercing feeling of lethargy. I could no longer stand, having become too numb to have a proper grasp of my grip. It felt almost as if Reinhard was absorbing all my vitality. A bright moon sat upon the skies above, growing ever more crimson with each passing moment. We were in an otherworld possessing an unquenchable thirst for blood. I didn't know his ability, but I could never mistake this presence. Reinhard was using Wilhelm's creation figment.
その技は吸収、略奪。私のグラズヘイムとよく似た技だが、敵の弱体化を狙うというのはあまり好みではないな。とはいえ、ケイラに敗れ去った愛児の祈りだ。ならば、一矢報いさせてやるのが親というものだろう。
My fatigue and trouble breathing were proof that my body was being stripped of its physical strength. Things were looking bad. I began to doubt if I'd be able to dodge any of his attacks now.
だが、K は自分で思っているほど惰弱ではない。不撓不屈の精神を持って、ここに立った誉れ高き男だ。まだあがくかもしれん。いや、あがくだろう。ならばこそ、念には念だ。
Once again, the Holy Lance became dense with wickedness. It crawled and gathered like a shadow with a will of its own. Were they converging to release another creation figment? Which one? I looked up to see Reinhard begin the bywords.
好みは勇気を生きし者、ゆえに誰もが我を置き去り先に行く。追いすがりたいが追いつけない。才は届かず生の瞬間が異なる差を埋めたいと願う。ゆえに足を引くのだ。皆底の魔性。波立て遊べよ。シェイテハンガリア・ナハツェーラ。
The shadow leaking from the Holy Lance branched out like a hydra and closed in on me. Although this was the first time I'd seen this ability, I instinctually understood one critical fact. I had to avoid touching them no matter what. I exerted my body to run around and escape the flood of belt-like shades. Reinhard's words made it obvious whose creation figment it was.
猿か。
There was no mistaking it.
その賢い足を封じてやろう。K を停止させるというのもなかなか皮肉だとは思わんかね。
The basis of this ability was the craving to hinder, not to improve oneself, but to forcibly bring others to a standstill. I prefer he didn't compare my powers to something like this. My plea was to sprint, to dash as far as I had to. The standstill was the opposite of all I stood for. I couldn't let it overpower me. I had somehow been able to evade them so far, but with each passing second, Wilhelm's creation figment made me grow weaker and weaker. The shades would catch up to me sooner than later, and when they did, I would no longer have the strength to repel them. What was there for me to do? Even as part of Reinhard's emanation, the ability itself was a creation figment. By principle, my role would be above it. I couldn't hesitate. I had to do what was necessary. After quickly turning around, I used the distance I created by running around to accelerate and dive straight into the encroaching sea of shadows. I'd be forced into a standstill the moment I touched them, and I knew Reinhard wouldn't miss an opportunity like that. As such, I decided to use it to my advantage and turn the situation around. Thus, I plunged myself into the Nox Error and swung my blade straight into the heart of its shadowy mass. Though it made the shades vanish like mist, touching them greatly reduced my speed. As expected, Reinhard took the opportunity.
止まったな。
A rich aura of divinity cradled the spear of destiny, its spiritual power shifting into a destructive energy soon to be unleashed upon me.
加減はせんぞ。もはやそんなものは生涯せん。ここで終わるならそれまでのことよ。私は星々の果てまで怒りの火を進軍させる。アウフ・ヴィーターゼン。とはならぬことを祈るか。
And with that, a colossal explosion of golden light burst forth before my eyes. His destructive torrent of spiritual power closed in on me without a shred of restraint. He was certainly not lying about that part. I still felt myself somewhat hindered by the remnants of the immobilizing curse. Though I could still move, evasion was a fool's errand. However, I never once intended to evade it. My idea was far too reckless to be called a plan, but it was about all I had in mind. I took on the destructive light by using my blade as a shield. The impact made me feel like I was about to boil and evaporate. My limbs convulsed, my capillaries burst, and even my eyes began to leak blood. I couldn't give in to something like this. No matter how many war slaves are following Reinhard, his connection with them was based entirely on domination and servitude. They could never sever our bonds. Yes, our bonds. I wasn't alone. My clenched teeth began to break, my fingernails were being torn away, and my bones were cracking, but none of it mattered to me. I begged them to lend me their strength. We had to display our legion, a group knit far tighter than Reinhard's army.
Sakurai!
I heard her voice back there.
Shiro!
We'd been a team for far too long for us to stop now.
Dakara!
Ravaged by the Raging Gold's destruction, I gave my all into summoning them. To make them gather and assemble. There was no need for any flashy phrases. With my own words, mind, and soul, I tried to get them to hear me. They clearly weren't the type to let me and Marie hog all the spotlight for the final battle. I knew them well enough to guess that. And so, moments before the explosive light burst forth,
一緒にぶっ倒そう!
they answered my call in a fittingly stylish way, smiles decorating each of their faces. And in that moment, the impossible happened. Impossible for him, at least. The light from Reinhardt's lance had been deflected. Not only that, but it went straight for the sanguine moon hanging far above, instantly shattering the cage of thorns. He considered if that was part of his opponent's plot. If anyone wished to prolong the battle, their greatest obstacle was Kazaklu Bey's life-absorbing moonlight and night of blood-stained roses. As the boy couldn't reach the distant moon, he had a projectile destroy it for him. It was far too ridiculous to be called a tactic. A plan based on deflecting Reinhard Heydrich's most powerful attack was pure insanity by that virtue alone. His strike encompassed all his strength, no doubt about that. No attacks had failed him before, nor was he at the peak of his strength during past occasions. Consequently, What had just unfolded before him was an impossibility. Had he known what men called pride, the shock would have left his shattered into countless pieces. But that was exactly why. Something alien escaped his lips. Of course, he knew full well what it was, and had done it on numerous occasions in the past. However, it was an absolute first. It had never happened before. It was his first time doing it, so it came out blatantly shoddy. He wished to somehow express his emotions, yet what poured forth from his lips sounded akin to sobbing. Indeed, it might have just been that. He couldn't tell, for he had never experienced it either. Reinhard no longer cared. He only wished to cry, and hoped to be enlivened. His being was a new world, freshly born. Thus the sound leaving his mouth was akin to an infant's first cry. With a roaring laughter that shook the very heavens, Reinhard Heydrich came to know joy. It was the very first time he laughed in earnest. He watched as the miracle, no, the surpasser that made it happen, erased the devastating curtain of magic and still stood before him. His was yet another legion, both one and the boundless Alpha and Omega. At its core, however, it was completely unlike Reinhard's. The man's was based on dominance and servitude, while the boy's had its core in love and friendship. As the one reigning over an army of slaves, the beast acknowledged the boy as his opposite.
美しい
No other description fit the sight. A total of 3 Onanurbe revolved around Ren, like guardian stars intent on protecting him. One was Elizabeth Bathory, the book wielded by Shiro after he plundered it from Rizalka Schwaglin. Another was Skarlashrat, Kei Sakurai's blade. Although shattered into tiny pieces during the opening of the 8th, it had miraculously rebuilt itself. However, it was the third weapon that caught Reinhard's attention, for its presence felt odd, its power difficult to make light of.
スルーズ・ワルキューレ
He did find it peculiar that he couldn't find her soul anywhere.
そこにいたのか注意を
The beast had always thought she would become an excellent Einherjar, but now he knew that she stood against him. His chest filled with a fresh sensation of joy, his body invigorated by the unknown that followed in its wake. To Reinhard, it truly was a splendid sight to behold. A world with so many people willing to bare their fangs at him would only elevate the radiance of his supremacy to never-before-seen heights. Naturally, the beast did not forget the beauty of the one leading the rebels.
生物を操るための生物
Compatibility was irrelevant to that thing. With the exception of Reinhard's own holy lance, the boy was the only one able to control all and any Onanurbe. Thus it was fair to believe him to be more than a match for the beast.
私が犯した罪は
Forgive me, for I have sinned.
心からの信頼においてあなたの命に反したわ
Born of loyalty, your will I once defiled. Or is that defied? I think it's defied. The Valkyrie's blade revolved as lightning coursed through its steel. The aria of her very soul echoed across the skies.
私は愚かであなたのお役に立てなかった
Forgive me, for I am not but a fool, never your equal. Reinhard was pleased to see it happen. It made for fine theater. After looking into his tastes for entertainment, he took it upon himself to conduct the opera and make it even more spectacular.
だからあなたの炎で包んでほしい
Let your crimson pyres have their fill. Indeed, pyres. The energy rising from the holy lance became exuberant, illuminating Reinhard's entire body. The crimson heat waves turned into a demonic blaze. Their power was out of this world. They came from one of the Einherjars residing within the Devil's Castle, the woman known as the Crimson Rubidoux.
我は輝きに焼かれる者届かぬ星を追い続ける者届かぬゆえにそは尊く 尊いがゆえに離れたくない。おお、追い続けようどこまでも。我は御身の胸で焼かれたい逃げ場なき炎の世界。
The tip of the lance was engulfed in whirling hellfire, building a path as it created the world of the demonic artillery's barrel. Reinhard had no aversion to embracing and holding her near his chest.
我が槍を恐れるならばこの炎を越すこと許さん。
For he who fears the tip of my lance shall never pass through the river of flames. But first, he had her seize the graceful girl she once released.
ブリア、
この騒音なるものを燃やし尽くす。
Thunder and flame alike became swords. The two Valkyries stood ready to have an earnest exchange of word and blade.
トールトーテンタンツ、バルキュリア。
On lightning I dance, for I am Valkyrie,
ムステルヘムレバテン。
harrowing sword of inferno. The clash of lightning and blaze was reminiscent of a quarrel between two sisters. The flames spiraled and made a path. Everything outside the space between me and Reinhard was separated, leaving us in an inescapable tunnel-like realm. No, it wasn't a tunnel, but a gun's barrel. The truth behind her demonic artillery's precision wasn't in heat-sinking warheads or the size of the explosion, but in this world. Nowhere to run meant no evasion. The flames rushing through the barrel left no inch untouched. Being fast meant nothing. I had no choice but to try and withstand it. However, this also presented a valuable opportunity. Most would think that one could only act like a turtle in this situation. So I chose not to do it. It was a seriously dangerous move, but I couldn't go without trying it. I dashed straight towards the encroaching wall of hellfire. My intention was to break through it. Strangely enough, I instinctually knew why the third Irae was here, but had no time to explain it. All that mattered was that she was helping me, with her lightning actively engaging the wall of flame before us. Breaking through felt more than possible. Shiro and Sakurai were at my side as well. Whether or not it was possible mattered little. I simply had to make it happen. Reinhard was likely not expecting to receive a counterattack. He'd be there beyond the wall, defenseless. I felt my breathing severely hindered as the burning atmosphere gradually stripped the vicinity of oxygen. I didn't mind it though. If stopping my breathing was what I had to do to reach him undetected, I'd do it for 100 years and more. I could hear my blood boil and smell the reek of my scorched flesh, but none of it mattered. Not one bit. Mustering all my strength and willpower, I finally broke through that infernal wall.
取ったぞ。
When I reached the other side, the golden devil was within my blade's range.
こちらがな。
However, his lips formed an unexpected smile. Even though I was clearly ahead of him, I began to feel as if the time axis had suddenly been reversed.
接触を恐れる、接触を言う。我が愛とは背後に広がる歴殺の輪立ち。ただ忘れさせてほしいと切に願う。すべてを置き去り、呪わしき夢は狂乱の檻で。我、皆、滅びるがいい。ニブルヘイム・フェンリスボル
The all-devouring beast of the abyss. As absurd as it may have been, Reinhard successfully caught up to and surpassed me. He countered my counterattack. I could hardly believe it, but Reinhard was now faster than me. I curbed my astonishment by mustering my willpower. If this was his game, I only had to play along and win against him. When it came to time, I had the home field advantage. Losing such a battle was not on my bucket list. I howled the next word with all my heart and soul.
止まれ。
At the same time, I swung my guillotine while evading his attack. The thrust from his holy lance pierced my defenses, while my splash split apart more than 100 of his SS troops. And the result was... a tie. A chunk of my side had been removed in the clash, while Reinhard was left with a cut on his shoulder. I just realized something. Our battle so far had been fierce without a doubt, yet this was the first time we managed to physically harm the other. The thick stench of blood and the feeling in my arm told me that I had cut into his indestructible flesh. Reinhard himself was aware of it as well. And yet he was laughing, as if he found this disgusting sensation the greatest bliss of all.
すぐ病みつきとなる。私をしてもうなった。己の血が熱い。はあ、私は今生きている。
Reinhard glanced at me with overwhelming ferocity, ready to drown out even his roaring laughter.
何か
I had deflected his attack, and the power of the impact sent us both flying in opposite directions.
おかしいんだよ
I sprung back on my own 2 feet and charged at him with all my might.
無論すべてが
This time, Reinhard deflected my attack,
色鮮やかに輝いている。
and we were distanced from each other yet again.
見よ、なんだこの滑稽な戦いは。
There were no tactics, only an exchange of numerous strikes carrying all our fervor and strength. Our fight was like that of 2 children, a fierce clash of futility and thoughtlessness. At the same time, however, it was a display of our ultimate power.
なるほどカールよ。確かにそうだ。究極に近くなるほど陳腐になる。ならばさらに絞り出さねばなるまいよ。
The same was true for me. I could only continue what we'd been doing. Our attacks were unrefined, clumsy, and completely ignored the opponent's defenses, but that was exactly what made them so lethal. Resorting to any kind of guile would only result in getting devoured by the raging winds surrounding us. Therefore, there was only one thing left for me to do.
俺か
私か。
We both had to focus on the conflict between our emanations, the tug of war between our laws based entirely on simple willpower. Thus, I cleared my mind.
行くぞ
And bid my soul against his to fight him through the night of Dies Irae. At that moment, the will of the Crucible voiced a shout. Not yet, this was too early. He had yet to finish expanding. Gladsheim began to expand without waiting for the delivery, and was about to destroy the birth canal. Unless it stopped soon, Isaac would vanish. It was far too unlike his idea of nativity. Isaac thought that, in exchange for being celebrated, the man would bless him with affection. But he no longer appeared to be necessary. The external os wasn't expanding. The world of standstill hindered his delivery. Isaac believed that Reinhard fought for his sake. He thought the beast was eliminating the hindrance. It seemed as though Isaac himself was considered an obstacle, and the man was getting rid of him for being too narrow, and thus useless. It all seemed so...
あまりにも異常ではありませんか
Within the birth canal, creaking under the pressure of the 2 conflicting worlds, Rhea heard Isaac's lamentation. A bastard child, rejected, dreaded, and uncelebrated. Right until his final moment.
父様
He asked the man he thought to be his father. Instead of disdain, his voice was thick with dependence. Isaac clung on to the hope that someone, even if it was but a single person, would embrace him. He couldn't let go of that craving.
あなたまで私を疎ましいとおっしゃるのか
Rhea's words wouldn't reach him, nor would the hand she extended. She could only watch as Isaac Ein's Sonnenkind was erased by his father's hand, never once needed by anyone. And Shambhala's magic circle vanished. The birth canal burst, and the realm of the dead, free from the narrow cage, began to expand at an explosive pace. Attempting to stop it, the realm of standstill grew in power as well. the growing conflict of the two hegemonies finally reached the critical point. As for what that meant, it could be described with a piece of paper. On it would be a picture representing foreknowledge. Two fresh colors, Standstill and the Dead, vied for supremacy upon one of its corners, the realm of Shambhala. Their struggle would be a ceaseless back and forth, one painting over the other and vice versa. The two colors differed in their nature. Standstill was a pencil, while the Dead and mounted to the paint, being released onto the paper directly from a tube. That very tube, the birth canal, had burst open. It ended up hindering the paint's efforts to fight the spread of the pencils, to fight the speed of the pencil's spread. The result of that was obvious. The combination of relentless pencil strokes and fierce recoloring tore open a hole in the paper before the picture was even close to being finished. Indeed, a hole. That was the result of reaching the critical point. Defining such a thing was no easy task. Though the paper served as the stage, the resulting phenomenon was neither picture nor color. To call it the singularity of the world would be the most apt. The size of the hole was unknown. It could have been large enough to engulf Shambhala, great enough to go beyond that, or perhaps even small enough to fit onto the tip of a needle. Regardless of its size, the singularity had manifested itself, and the ones responsible for making it appear had fallen into it. What would they find below the paper?